Welcome to Two Film Buffs. Now, I'm convinced Matt Groening must be a time traveller, but let's take a look.
Wow!
Do you remember the time that Lisa predicted the Super Bowl results? The airing of the episode in Season 3, Episode 14 came days before Super Bowl 25, where Lisa predicted that the Washington Redskins would win. The next year, the writers decided to predict it again, where they chose the Dallas Cowboys as the victors. Once again, they were right. They continued to predict the winners over following episodes, where they predicted the San Francisco 49ers as winners in the Super Bowl 29. How about the submarine emergency situation? In Season 17, Episode 10, Homer's paternity coup, Homer believes a man named Mason Fairbanks to be his long-lost biological father. They both go on an underwater voyage to try find treasure in a sunken ship. Sound familiar? Homer gets stuck in coral and his oxygen levels keep dipping. He wakes up days later in a hospital. Now, in 2023, the world was stunned by the Ocean Gate submarine that was carrying 5 passengers on an underwater adventure. Now, unlike The Simpsons, the submarine was never located and the 5 passengers are still, quotations, missing. They're dead. They're dead. In Season 6, Episode 19, titled Lisa's Wedding, they showed a flash forward to the future. A future where they had several technology jokes such as FaceTime and smartwatches. The focus on the smartwatches came from a botched wedding proposal from Lisa's boyfriend Hugh, which prompts him to call by talking into his watch. And in 2013, welcome the Apple Watch. You ever been caught out by autocorrect? Well, The Simpsons predicted that too. In Season 6, Episode 8, Lisa on Ice, the bully Dolph is writing a memo beat up Martin on his Apple Newton PDA device. Remember those PDAs? Well, they didn't last that long. The text keeps translating to eat up Martha due to poor handwriting recognition of the PDAs. Even the guys at Apple watched the episode when they was trying to crack down on the autocorrect issues of the touch keyboards, quoting "eat up Martha" as motivations to get it right. How about the time that Siegfried and Roy was never going to be attacked by that really friendly, domesticated, harmless tiger? Yeah, The Simpsons could see it from a mile away. Well, most of us could. But in Season 5, Episode 10, Springfield, Mr. Burns decides to build a casino in Springfield. One of the key performers were Gunter and Ernst, where their act clearly ends when Anastasia, the albino tiger, attacks them. 10 years later, Roy gets mauled by his friend. We touched on it earlier, but in the same episode of Lisa's Wedding in Season 6, there was also a nod to video chats. It was something that the writers probably could see coming as the natural progression of technology, because even Pokemon had a similar idea with Ash and Professor Oak. But nonetheless, if you told the average person that you would be able to see someone and speak with them without them being in the same room, they'd have called you a conspiracy theorist. Which ironically, all of this kind of is. Matt Groening's a time traveller, I'm telling you now. Do you remember the time that they tried to cover up Michelangelo's David? In Season 2, Episode 9, Itchy and Scratchy and Marge attempted to get the cartoon pairing of Itchy and Scratchy to become more friendly, but she realises quite quickly how censorship could go both ways when the town tried to protest the nudity of the David statue. That very David statue became a massive topic in 2016 when the Russians voted on whether or not to cover up a copy of the statue with cloves. Do you remember Tomako, the nuclear tomato hybrids? When Homer's attempt at farming in Season 11, Episode 5, he began creating a tomato/tobacco hybrid using some of the nuclear materials from his day job at the plant. Funny enough, in 2013, reality saw the effects of this nuclear mutation when fruits and vegetables near Fukushima Daiichi power plant turned into hybrid horrors. Did Homer Simpson somehow goodwill hunting us? Because in Season 10, Episode 2, Homer was inspired by the works of Thomas Edison, so he tries to become an aspirational inventor. Now, one of the jokes involves Homer scribbling profusively on a chalkboard. Over a decade later, scientists discover the Higgs boson particle, known as the God particle, where the mass of this equation was very similar to Homer's. Here's one a little closer to my home from the same episode of Lisa's Wedding in Season 6. There's an establishing shot of Big Ben in the episode with the joke of a digital face. I can assure you that hasn't happened yet, but in the background is where it becomes a little eerie. On the left hand side of Big Ben is a shot of what is known as the Shard. Now, the construction of the Shard completed in 2012. Lisa's Wedding aired in 1995 and was set in 2010. Construction of the Shard began in 2009, but when I took a look at when the Shard was initially designed, it turns out to be 2000, so 5 years after Lisa's Wedding aired. So whether they drew inspiration from The Simpsons, something doesn't quite add up. thank you for watching the video, guys. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below, or any theories that you've heard yourself. Next, we're going to be looking at Futurama, so subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out, and we will see you
Latest on the Menji.